Welcome. My name is Lindsay, and I'm going to be taking us through Iyengar's Asana courses. So these are at the back of Light on Yoga. It's in Appendix 1, and it's a series of different courses that allow you to experience all the different postures that are here in the book. So we'll be going week by week with the idea of practicing these sequences daily until you kind of graduate to the next set of sequences. So Iyengar writes, I am dividing the asanas into 3 groups, the primary, intermediate, and advanced courses. I'm giving the series of asanas in a serial order for practice and the possible time it may take to gain control in all these 3 courses. So we'll be starting with week 1 and 2, and I'll be demonstrating using a block for several of these postures. As you start to practice more and more, you'll find that you don't need the block, but it's nice to have nearby just in case these postures are new to you. So we begin our week 1 and 2 in the asana sequence in Tadasana. So we start with our Tadasana posture, which you bring the feet towards each other, parallel to each other. Just squeezing the feet towards each other and bringing equal weight between the toe mounds and the heel. So neither the heel nor the toe mounds are holding an equal amount of weight. I like to stretch and lengthen my toes, lifting them up off the ground to help activate the feet, just bringing the weight there into the feet, and then lower the toes down nice and slow. All right, so once you get the feet settled, you'll engage the muscles of the legs, squeezing the legs and lifting the kneecaps up high, not pulling them back, hyperextending, but engaging the legs and lifting the kneecaps up towards you. There's a gentle tucking of the tailbone to squeeze the glutes and lengthen the spine. You'll draw the belly in, and you'll open the chest area by shining the heart forward. Feeling the collarbones nice and broad, extend the fingers down towards the floor. Just take a moment here, breathing steady and slow in and out in our Tadasana mountain pose. Allow yourself to breathe steady in and out through the nose. We'll take about 30 seconds in each posture. And for my timing, we'll do about 5 breaths. Nice, slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Allow the body to stay calm and relaxed in these postures. All right. We'll start to move into our second posture, which is Vrikasana, or tree pose. We'll start with the right side, pressing the right foot down into the floor from our Tadasana. We'll get lighter and lighter in the left foot, coming up onto that left big toe. And then open the left knee out towards the left. So balance might be kind of a thing here. You might choose to stay here, slowly working that left foot closer and closer towards the right ankle. The hands can stay at the hips at first, or eventually bring the hands towards heart center. So with the foot resting on the ankle, you might choose to challenge the balance and lift the foot up on towards the calf. Again, if that's fine for the balance, you can reach down and place the foot on the thigh, keeping the knee open wide towards the left. You're going to continue to squeeze that right leg, drawing the belly in. Maybe eventually, as your balance feels ready, extending the arms up overhead. Again, 5 breaths here. Releasing the hands, releasing the feet. We'll switch sides, press the left foot down into the floor, squeeze the left thigh, squeeze the left glute. Start to get lighter and lighter in the right foot, and then open that right knee out towards the right side. You'll find a non-moving spot to stare at. I forgot to mention that on the first side. This can be really helpful with the balance as you start to walk the foot in closer towards the ankle, lifting the foot up on towards the calf, or maybe reaching down and placing the foot on towards the right thigh. Just continue to keep squeezing that left thigh and drawing the belly in, feeling the spine nice and long. Taking another 5 breaths here, an arm variation of your choice. Bottom of the fifth, release. All right, coming into our next posture, we have Utthita Trikonasana. So you'll open the legs wide, about 3 feet wide. And we'll open the arms out. Great job. Keeping the feet planted, toes point in the same direction, feet are parallel. We're going to start to push the left hip back behind you. Gaze over the right fingers and reach those right fingers forward. Reach, 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 reach. So we want to keep the spine nice and long here. So this is going to be a good one to have a block nearby. You can bring the block outside of that right foot. So you're going to continue to press the hips back behind you, reaching those right fingers forward, 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 forward. And then as you're ready, lowering that right hand down on towards the block. It could be inside of that foot. And our left arm is going to extend straight up towards the sky. So this gives us a rotation in through the spine. Nice length here on the waist. If you're finding that you're having a hard time and you're kind of rounding, that the chest is collapsed here as you're trying to reach towards the floor, bring your hand towards a block, rotate the collarbones and extend that arm up towards the sky. Finding that posture, finding that space, and over time, with that length in the spine, you can start to lower yourself down more and more. Down towards the floor. Palm towards the ground. Great job. Right toes point towards the top of the mat. Left toes point towards the long edge of the mat. We've got the feet at a 90-degree angle. The arms reach towards the floor and the sky. Top palm faces in the same direction of the face. You keep the belly engaged and you keep breathing. All right, that was about 5 breaths. Draw the lower belly in. Use your exhale. Slowly rise yourself all the way back up. We can bring this block with us for the second side. Rotate those right toes to point towards the long edge of the mat and rotate out the left toes. Bring the block to the inside of that left foot. Again, keep the legs straight but not hyperextended. Open the arms out nice and wide. Start to press the right hip back behind you. Reach, 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 reach forward with the left fingers. And then we'll lower the hand down on towards that block and reach the right arm up towards the sky. Get that rotation into the collarbones. Keep the belly engaged. That nice length here in through the waist. And 5 breaths. Again, as you're ready, lowering down. We just want to take our first couple of rounds of our Trikonasana to experience the length of the spine. Slowly, eventually, making your way down with the hand on the floor. Great job. Using the core engagement, rise yourself all the way back up. Lower the hands, rotate the feet. Great job. We'll be moving into our next posture, Utthita Parsva Konasana, extended side angle pose. Get another one to have the block nearby. Will be handy for the first couple rounds of this posture. So again, we still have our feet about 3 feet wide. We're going to rotate again the right toes towards the top of the mat. And this time we're going to bend that front knee. The block can come again towards the inside of that mat, inside of the foot, and extend the arms again out nice and wide. Lengthen the spine. We want to make sure that that right knee is over the right ankle. Nice deep bend in that knee. And then first step is we're going to lower the right forearm down onto the right thigh. So different than our triangle pose, the arm doesn't stretch straight up towards the sky, but extends along the left ear. So the left arm stretches, reaches. You can feel the difference with the arm reaching up versus the arm reaching over the ear, palm facing the floor. It gets a little bit more in through our hip flexors. All right, so once you have that posture down, you'll start to reach that right hand down towards the inside of the foot, towards the block. Okay. Once that feels manageable, keeping the waist nice and long, you can lower yourself down slowly over time. So you can get the foot down on the floor. Nice rotation of the collarbones. Continue to breathe. And take 2 more rounds of breath here. Great job. Starting to make your way out of the posture, bring that left arm back down towards the side, pressing back up, stretch yourself up, and rotate the feet. Right toes swivel in, left toes swivel towards the short edge of the mat. Bringing the block again to the other side. Want to bend nice and deep in through that left knee. Extend the arms out, sinking down into the hips, and then bend the left forearm, lower down towards the left thigh, and extend the right arm along the right ear. Again, find that rotation into the collarbones. As you feel ready, you can sink the hand down on towards the block, high, medium, or low setting. Just keep finding your edge. Again, you'll be practicing these postures every day for 2 weeks. So don't expect to bring the hand down towards the floor maybe on the first day, but over time, keep pushing your edge, walking that edge between comfort, effort, and ease. Nice, slow, deep breaths through the nose. About 5 breaths there. We'll draw the lower belly in, use your exhale. Bring yourself all the way back up. Nice work. Straighten that front knee. Excellent work. Heel toe the feet back towards each other. Meet back up in mountain pose. Bring the feet towards each other. Engage the legs. Extend the fingers down towards the floor. Excellent work. Our next postures are Virabhadrasana 1 and 2. So this is warrior 1 and 2. Again, open the legs wide. About 2.5, 3 feet wide in front of us. I'm going to rotate all the toes to point towards the top of the mat. So I have my right foot in front here. And then we're going to start to square off the hips, bringing the right hip back, the left hip forward, and start to bend the right knee over the right ankle. We're going to tuck the tailbone. Keep that back leg straight. The front knee bends. Tuck at the tailbone, lengthens the spine, shines the heart forward. Keep the hips squared off towards the short edge of the mat. And as you're ready, reach the arms up towards the sky. 5 breaths here. Excellent work. We're going to start to transition into our warrior 2. So draw the hands down through heart center. Keep that front knee bent and rotate the back foot so that the toes point towards the long edge of the mat now. The feet are now at a 90-degree angle. Rebend that front foot. You might heel toe the front foot forward just a little bit so the knee doesn't reach over the ankle. Tuck the tailbone and extend the arms out towards the short edges of the mat. You're going to gaze out over the right fingers. Keep pulling that left arm like you're getting pulled backwards. 5 breaths here. Fantastic. The bottom of that 5th breath, straighten the front knee, rotate the right toes in, bring the hands towards the hips, and rotate the left toes out. I'm going to rebend the left knee over the left ankle. Straighten. I'm going to swivel all the toes to point towards the left side of the mat. So now we have our left foot in front. Square the hips off. We're going to find our warrior 1 again. Press the right hip forward, left hip comes back. You might make any adjustment to the position of the feet. And then as you're ready, rebend that left knee over the left ankle. I'm going to tuck the tailbone just a little bit more, lengthen the spine. And as you're ready, reach the arms up overhead. Warrior 1, 5 breaths here. Feel light in the toes as you enter into this posture. Okay, at the bottom of that fifth exhale, bring the hands down through heart center and externally rotate the right toes to point towards the long edge of the mat. So again, the feet are at a 90-degree angle, toes pointing towards the long and the short edge of the mat. I'm going to go to the directions. Bend the left knee over the left ankle. Again, widening the stance if you need to by heel toeing that front foot forward. Tuck the tailbone, lengthen the spine, and as you're ready, extend the arms out again towards the short edges of the mat. Gaze out over the left fingers, get pulled backwards by the right fingers. 5 breaths. Excellent. Start to straighten the front knee. Rotate both sets of toes in towards the short edge of the mat. Lower the hands down, heel toe the feet back towards each other. Meeting back in, mountain pose. Nice slow deep breaths in and out. Okay, our last standing posture is Parsvottanasana. I'm gonna open the legs out. Again, that about 3 feet distance, 2.5, 3 feet. We're gonna swivel all the toes again towards the right, so the right foot is in front. Legs stay straight for this posture. So the hips square off towards the short edge of the mat again, similar to our warrior one. The spine is nice and long, and the knees have a little bit of bend in them. They're not hyperextended, they're not locked out. All right, so the arm binds for this one can be a very tricky thing. So the posture requires a reverse prayer pose behind the back. So something like this. This may not be where you are today. So I would suggest having a strap at first and holding onto the strap, continue to pull the shoulders towards each other and the elbows towards each other, keeping that spread across the chest. If you can bring the hands towards each other, interlacing the fingers, continue to just squeeze the elbows, shine the chest forward. Eventually bringing the palms of the hands together and then tilting the fingers towards the spine and then eventually tilting the fingers up towards the sky. Okay, so whatever variation of hand bind you have, you'll be continuing to work on bringing the hands into prayer position. Again, we'll be practicing this every day for 2 weeks and beyond. Broaden the collarbones, draw the belly in, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, start to hinge forward, keeping the spine nice and long here. So the bind of the arms is really helpful here for keeping that chest nice and expansive here. You're gonna lower the torso down, and eventually you will, as you stretch and stretch over time, reach the forehead down towards that front shin. Taking 5 breaths here. At the bottom of your 5th breath, draw the belly in, slowly rise yourself all the way back up. Keep the hands bound like they are, rotating on the feet all the way to the other side. Left toes point forward, back right toes point towards the upper right corner of the mat. Square the hips off, tuck the tailbone, lengthen the spine, and use your exhale to slowly lower the torso down again over that left leg. Again, there's a soft bend in the knees. Practicing until you can get yourself forward folded. At the bottom of your 5th breath, draw the belly in, slowly rise yourself all the way up to stand. Rotate the feet again, release the bind of the arms, bring the feet back together in mountain pose. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Excellent. If you were finding that the balance was challenging for you in our uh, Parsva Konasana, um, work on just finding the posture in the legs, maybe using a block to assist you in your balance. So you could use the block, bringing the palms in front of you, legs straight, working on that shape, stretching in through the legs until you feel comfortable with the balance, and then you bring the hands in towards the chest, and then continuing to work the hands back behind you until you feel stable enough on the legs to take that forward fold with the hands bent. All right. Moving down onto the floor, sitting the hips down, we're working into Salamba Sarvangasana. This is our shoulder stand. So making our way down, down, down onto the floor. I'm going to start by bending the knees. I'm pulling the legs in towards the chest. Hands come down by the hips. We're going to use a bit of momentum as well as pushing into the arms here. So tuck the shoulders slightly behind you to start, squeezing them underneath the back. All right, and then we're going to press into the palms and rock the legs coming up a little bit onto the shoulders. From here, bring the hands towards the lower backs. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Walk the shoulders underneath you just a little bit more. Lengthen out the neck by bringing the back of the head onto the floor. All right, so this might feel pretty strange at first. Continue to squeeze the elbows towards each other, keeping the weight on the shoulders instead of the neck or the back of the head. There's a little bit of weight there, but not all of it. Most of the weight is in the shoulders. From here, pressing the hands into the lower back, you're going to start to extend the legs up towards the sky. So allow yourself just a few breaths here at first, eventually building up to about 5 minutes in our shoulder stand. So squeeze the legs together, squeeze the glutes, keep pressing the hips forward. The posture that comes after shoulder stand is called halasana. It is a plow pose. So to come into plow pose, draw the knees back down nice and slow. Use lots of core strength, lots of control here. And we're going to extend those legs out nice and long overhead. So we're resting the toes on the floor, back up overhead, working on straightening the legs. The hands come released from the lower back, interlace the fingers, and stretch the arms long away from the body. You're straightening the elbows, extending the knuckles out away from the hips. So again, with practice, you'll build your hold here in Halasana from that about 30 seconds all the way up to 3 minutes. Take your time, nice and slow, breathing in and out. Last breath here. Now, controlling ourselves out of this posture is important. Release the bind of the hands. Bring the hands back towards the hips. Bend the knees in towards the chest. We're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest, and we're going to roll the hips back down onto the floor. I like to bring my head with me just so I maintain that curve in the spine, and then slowly lower the chest, lower the head back down onto the floor. Great job. Last posture is Shavasana. So we'll extend the legs out nice and long, rotating the toes to point towards the outer edges of the mat. Hands come by the hips. I'm going to tuck the shoulder blades underneath the back, a slight tuck of the chin towards the chest. There's a drawing of the tailbone down towards the heels. Taking a few nice, slow, deep breaths in and out. So in our Shavasana, we'll begin to practice our Ujjayi pranayama. So that is a subtle constriction into the throat, giving a slight vibration. As you exhale, it has a sensation like you're fogging up a mirror. And the inhale, almost that sensation like you're about to start snoring. So allow yourself a few moments here to play with the Ujjayi pranayama, letting all the muscles of the body relax. We take about 5 minutes in Shavasana to let your body kind of incorporate and recover from all those new movements. It's a wonderful time, in addition to focusing on your breathing, to tune your awareness to the movements of the mind. Seeing if you can avoid interacting with the thoughts and just watching as the thoughts come in and out. Start to bring some movement back into our fingers and our toes, waking ourselves up nice and slow. Take an inhale to stretch the arms up overhead. Point the toes towards the short edge of the mat. Reach and stretch the body nice and long. And we'll exhale to draw the knees in towards the chest. Give ourselves a nice big hug. Grabbing on behind the backs of the thighs, gently rock yourself up into a comfortable seated posture. Taking a moment in observance of the physical body, of our mind, and emotions. Take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands come down through heart center. May our practice be of benefit to all beings. Thank you and namaste. Wonderful. Keep me posted as you progress through week 1 and 2, practicing every day if possible. Look forward to seeing you on week 3.